Hi, Mark. How are you today? You look a little bit worried. Is everything okay?
Hi, Anna. I'm fine, thank you. Well, actually, I'm thinking about my bank account. It's the end of the month and I don't have much money left.
I understand. That happens to many people. Money is a difficult topic sometimes, but it is very important to talk about it.
I agree. I want to learn how to manage my money better. I hear people use words like income and expenses, but I get confused.
Don't worry, we can talk about it together. Think of it like a game. Income is the money that comes into your pocket. Expenses are the money that goes out of your pocket.
Okay, that makes sense. So, my job gives me money every month. Is that my income?
Exactly. Let's break it down.
So my main income is my salary from the office. I work 40 hours a week and they pay me every Friday.
That is great. That is your primary income. But let's look closer at your paycheck, Mark. Have you noticed two different numbers? One is bigger and one is smaller?
Yes, my gross pay is big, but the money I actually take home is smaller. Why is that?
That is a very important thing to understand. Your gross income is the total money you earn before anything is taken out. But then the government takes taxes.
Oh, I see. Taxes pay for roads, schools, and hospitals, right?
Exactly. After taxes are taken out, the money you have left in your hand is your net income. We often call this take-home pay. When you make a budget, you must always use your net income because that is the money you actually have to spend.
That is a great tip. I always thought I was richer than I am because I was looking at the gross number.
It happens to the best of us. Now, besides your office job, do you have any other ways to make money?
Sometimes I sell my old clothes online. Or last month I helped my neighbor paint his house and he gave me $50.
Those are also forms of income. We call those extra income or side hustles. But there's another kind of income that is very interesting. It's called passive income.
Passive income? That sounds fancy. What is it?
Active income is when you work for money, like your office job. If you don't work, you don't get paid. Passive income is when your money or your work from the past makes money for you while you sleep.
Making money while I sleep. That sounds like a dream. How does it work?
Well, for example, if you have a savings account at the bank pays you a little bit of interest. You don't do anything, but your money grows. Or if you write a book and people buy it every month, you get money even if you are at the beach.
Wow. So I should try to have different streams of income?
Yes, imagine a river. If one stream dries up, the river still flows because of the other streams. If you lose your job, but you have a side hustle and some interest from the bank, you will be okay.
I never thought about it that way. So I have my main salary, net income, my side hustles, extra income, and maybe one day I can have passive income.
Exactly. It's all about how much money is coming in. But the biggest mistake people make is thinking that more income solves everything.
Why not? If I have $1 million, I have no problems, right?
Not necessarily. If you earn $1 million but spend 2 million, you are still in trouble. That is why we must talk about the second part of the equation, expenses.
Okay, let's talk about expenses. I know I spend a lot, but I feel like I have to spend it.
We should divide your spending into two groups. The first group is fixed expenses. Think of these as your foundation. These are things you must pay every month, and the price is usually the same.
Like my rent? I pay $800 every month for my apartment. My landlord never changes the price.
Yes, rent is the most common fixed expense. What about your internet bill or your phone bill?
Yes, those are the same every month too. I pay $50 for internet and $30 for my phone plan. I also have car insurance. If I don't pay that, I can't drive legally.
Exactly. These are very important because if you don't pay them, there are big consequences. If you don't pay rent, you lose your home. If you don't pay your phone bill, your service stops. You should always pay these first, right after you get your net income.
Sometimes I feel like these fixed expenses take all my money. $800 for rent, $100 for utilities, $150 for insurance. It's a lot.
It is, but here is a secret. Even fixed expenses can sometimes be lowered.
Really? But you said the price is the same.
The price is the same every month, but you can change the contract. For example, can you find a cheaper phone plan, or can you call the internet company and ask for a discount?
Oh, so if I move from a $50 plan to a $40 plan, I save $10 every month forever?
Exactly. That is $120 a year. Another fixed expense people forget is debt payments. If you have a loan for your car or your education, you usually pay the same amount every month until it is finished.
Ah, yes. I pay $200 a month for my car loan. That is definitely a must pay. I don't want the bank to take my car.
Right. So fixed expenses are predictable. They help you know exactly how much money is locked before you even start your month.
Okay, so I should list all of these first: rent, utilities, insurance, and my car loan. Once I pay those, can I spend the rest on whatever I want?
Not yet, Mark, because we haven't talked about the things that change, the things that usually steal your money without you noticing.
You mean the variable expenses?
Exactly. Let's look at those next.
Okay, so I pay my rent and my bills, but then I have other things like food. Is food a fixed expense?
Food is the most famous variable expense. You need it to live, so it is a need, but the price changes based on your choices.
I see what you mean. Last week, I went to the supermarket and spent $100 because I bought steak and expensive cheese. But this week, I only spent $40 because I bought pasta and eggs.
Exactly. That is why we call it variable. You have control over this number. Other variable expenses include gas for your car, clothes, and fun money.
Fun money? What is that?
That is the money you spend on things you want but don't need. For example, going to the cinema, buying a new video game, or grabbing a beer with friends.
I think I spend too much on wants. I love buying new gadgets and eating at restaurants. Yesterday, I spent $25 on sushi.
And that's okay, as long as you plan for it. The problem is when wants start to look like needs. Some people think, I need this new iPhone, but really they just want it.
That is me. I always feel like I need things. How can I tell the difference?
Try the 48-hour rule. If you see something you want to buy, wait 2 days. If you still want it after 48 hours and you have the money, buy it. Often after 2 days, you realize you don't actually need it.
That's a smart trick. But what about things that are unexpected? Like, what if my shoes break and I need new ones?
Those are variable expenses too. They are unexpected needs. This is why variable expenses are dangerous. They're hard to predict. If you don't watch them, they can grow very big very fast.
So if my income is $2,000 and my fixed expenses are $1,000, I have $1,000 left for variable expenses?
On paper, yes, but if you spend all that $1,000 on food and fun, you have $0 left for your future. This is why people feel broke even when they have a good job. They let their variable expenses grow until they reach the limit of their income.
I think I understand. My rent stays at $800, but my coffee habit can grow from $5 a week to $50 a week if I'm not careful.
Precisely. And because variable expenses happen in small amounts, like $2 here and $10 there, we don't feel the pain of spending until the end of the month when the bank account is empty.
It's like a leaky bucket. My money is the water, and the small variable expenses are the tiny holes in the bottom.
That is a perfect metaphor, Mark. To fix the bucket, we need a plan to plug those holes.
How can I stop spending too much on these small things? I feel like I'm always losing the money game.
You need a budget, Merc. Many people think a budget is like a prison. They think it stops them from having fun. But really, a budget is a map. It tells your money where to go, instead of you wondering where it went.
A map for my money. I like that. But where do I start? Do I need to be a math genius?
Not at all. You just need to be honest with yourself. A very popular and simple way to start is the 50-30-20 rule.
You mentioned that earlier. Can we look at the numbers? Let's say I earn $2,000 a month after taxes. That is my net income.
Perfect. Using the 50-30-20 rule, 50%, $1,000, goes to needs. This covers your rent, basic groceries, and utility bills. 30%, $600, goes to wants. This is for your fun stuff, restaurants, hobbies, and that sushi you love. 20%, $400, goes to savings. This is for your future and paying off any big debts.
Wait, $600 for fun? That sounds like a lot. I thought a budget meant I couldn't spend money on fun things.
That is the best part. A budget gives you permission to spend. If you have $600 in your wants category, you can spend it without feeling guilty. You know your rent is already paid and your savings are safe.
Oh, so I don't have to worry when I buy a video game because I know that money was meant for fun.
Exactly. But there is a catch. If you spend $700 on fun, you have to take $100 from somewhere else. Usually people take it from their needs, which is dangerous, or their savings, which hurts their future.
I see. So the budget keeps the categories separate. What happens if my needs are more than 50%? My rent is $800 and my bills are $300. That's $1,100 already.
That is a very common problem, especially in big cities. If your needs are high, you have to be extra careful with your wants. You might have to change it to a 60-20-20 rule. The most important thing is the 20% for savings. You should try to keep that number as high as possible.
What if I find it hard to stick to the plan? I start the month with the plan, but by the 15th, I forget everything.
That is why you need a money date. Once a week, sit down for 15 minutes. Look at your bank account and your budget. Ask yourself, am I following my map?
A money date. That sounds less scary than financial audit.
Words matter, Mark. If you treat your money with respect, it will take care of you. Think of your budget as a conversation between your current self and your future self.
My current self wants sushi, but my future self wants a house.
Exactly. And the budget helps them agree on a middle ground.
You mentioned savings earlier. To be honest, Anna, saving money feels a bit boring. I want to enjoy my life now while I'm young.
I hear that a lot, Mark. But let me ask you, how do you feel when your car makes a strange noise, or when you think about losing your job?
Honestly, I feel sick. I get very stressed because I don't know how I would pay for a repair or survive for a month without a paycheck.
Exactly. So saving isn't about being boring. Saving is about buying peace of mind. The first and most important goal for your savings is the emergency fund.
I've heard of that. Is that the $1,000 you mentioned?
Yes, $1,000 is a great starter emergency fund. It's for small emergencies, like a broken phone or a flat tire. But eventually, you want a full emergency fund. That should be enough money to pay for all your expenses for 3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months? If my expenses are $1,500 a month, that means I need, wait, let me do the math, $4,500 to $9,000? That feels impossible.
It's not impossible, it just takes time. This is why we save 20% of our income every month. If you save $400 a month, in 1 year, you have $4,800. That's your 3-month safety net.
Wow, when you put it like that, it sounds doable. But where do I put this money? Under my mattress?
No, you should put it in a high-yield savings account. This is a special bank account that gives you more interest than a normal one.
Interest. That's the passive income we talked about.
Yes, if you have $5,000 in the bank and the interest rate is 4%, the bank gives you $200 a year just for keeping your money there. It's not $1 million, but it's free money.
Okay, so I save for emergencies. What else should I save for?
We call these sinking funds. These are for big things you know are coming. For example, do you want to go to Europe next summer?
I would love to, but that costs at least $2,400.
Okay, so if the trip is 12 months away, you save $200 a month in your travel sinking fund. When next summer comes, you have the money ready. You don't need a credit card and you don't feel guilty.
I see. So I have different buckets for my savings. One for emergencies, one for travel, maybe one for a new car later?
Precisely. This makes saving feel like you are winning. Every time you see that travel bucket grow, you feel excited, not bored.
This changes everything. I used to think of savings as money I can't spend. Now I see it as money I am preparing to spend on things that actually matter.
That is the perfect mindset, Mark. You are moving from spending by accident to saving with purpose.
Okay, Anna, I'm ready. I want to start a budget today. What is the very first step? Do I just start the 50-30-20 rule right now?
Not quite yet, Mark. Before you can plan where your money should go, you need to find out where it is actually going. You need to track your spending.
That sounds like a lot of work. Do I have to write down every single penny, even a pack of gum or a bus ticket?
Yes, for at least 1 month, you need to record everything. This is because we often have money leaks, small costs that we forget about, but that add up to a big amount.
Give me an example of a money leak.
Well, do you have any subscriptions? Netflix, Spotify, a gym membership?
Oh, definitely. I have Netflix, Disney Plus, and a magazine subscription I don't even read anymore.
Exactly. If you pay $15 a month for a magazine you don't read, that's $180 a year. Tracking helps you see those things. You can use 3 simple methods to track. The notebook method, carry a small book and write down every cash purchase. The app method, use an app on your phone that connects to your bank. And the receipt method, keep every paper receipt and look at them at the end of the day.
I think I like the app method. It sounds easier. But looking at my bank statement makes me nervous. I feel like the bank is judging me.
I understand that feeling, but remember, the numbers are just data. They're not good or bad. They're just information to help you make better choices.
Okay, so I track for a month, then what?
At the end of the month, you categorize your spending. Get some colored pens. Use green for needs, blue for wants, and red for mistakes.
Mistakes?
Yes, like that $50 late fee you paid because you forgot to pay your bill on time, or the food you bought that went bad in the fridge. When you see a lot of red on your paper, it motivates you to change.
I bet I spend way more on eating out than I think. I usually grab a sandwich for $10 every workday.
Let's do the math. $10 a day, 5 days a week for 4 weeks, that's $200 just on lunch.
$200? I could buy a lot of groceries with $200.
Exactly. Tracking gives you the aha moment. It takes away the mystery of why your bank account is empty. Once you see the numbers, you have the power to change them.
It's like being a detective for my own life. I'm looking for the clues to where my money went.
That's a great way to put it. And once you find the clues, you can solve the mystery and start building your wealth.
I have one more big question, Anna. What about credit cards? Are they considered income? Because when the bank gives me a $2,000 limit, I feel like I just got a $2,000 bonus.
That is a very dangerous way to think, Mark. A credit card is definitely not income. It is a loan. When you use a credit card, you are telling the bank, please buy this for me now, and I promise to pay you back later.
But if I pay them back, what's the problem? It's so convenient. I don't have to carry cash.
Convenience is the hook. The problem is interest. If you don't pay the full amount at the end of the month, the bank charges you a fee to keep borrowing that money. Usually, credit card interest is very high, around 20%.
Let's use easy numbers.
If I buy a TV for $1,000 and I only pay the minimum the bank asks for, what happens?
This is where people get stuck. If you only pay the minimum, let's say $25 a month, it could take you years to pay for that TV. By the time you are finished, you might have paid $2,000 for a $1,000 TV because of the interest.
That is crazy. The bank is making so much money from me.
Exactly. We call this bad debt. Bad debt is money you borrow to buy things that lose value, like clothes, electronics, or dinners. Good debt is different.
There's good debt? How can debt be good?
Some people consider a mortgage, a loan for a house, or a student loan for education to be good because they are investments. A house usually grows in value, and an education helps you earn a higher income later.
I see. So a car loan is somewhere in the middle.
Yes, you need a car to get to work, which helps you earn income, but the car loses value every day. The goal is to have as little debt as possible. If you have debt now, you should use a debt repayment plan.
How does that work?
There are two popular ways. One, the snowball method. You pay off your smallest debt first. It gives you a win and makes you feel happy. Two, the avalanche method. You pay off the debt with the highest interest rate first. This saves you the most money in the long run.
I think I like the snowball. I need to feel like I'm winning. But what about my credit score? I heard I need a credit card to have a good score.
That is true in many countries. A credit score is like a grade in school, but for money. If you use your card for a small thing, like gas, and pay it off completely every month, your score goes up. This helps you get a better rate when you want to buy a house later.
So the rule is only buy it if you already have the money in your bank account.
Exactly. Treat your credit card like a debit card. If you don't have the $100 in your bank, don't put $100 on the card.
Okay, so no fake income, watch out for the interest trap, and pay the full balance every single month.
You've got it. If you follow those rules, the credit card works for you and you don't work for the bank.
This is all very helpful. I feel much better about my money now. I have income, I have expenses, I have a budget, and I'm watching my debt. It feels like I'm finally the boss of my wallet.
You're doing great, Mark. You have the foundation now, but there is one more thing many people include in their budget to make it feel complete: sharing and giving.
Giving? But I'm still trying to save for my own emergency fund. Isn't giving something you only do when you are a millionaire?
That is a common myth. Giving isn't about the amount of money, it's about the habit. Even if you only give $5 a month, it changes how you think about your money. It reminds you that you have enough to help someone else.
I never thought about it like that. When I feel like I'm broke, I get very selfish. I hold on to every penny because I'm afraid.
Exactly. We call that a scarcity mindset, the fear that there is never enough. Giving helps you build an abundance mindset. It proves to your brain that you are in a position of strength, not a position of fear.
So how do I fit this into my budget? Do I put it in the wants category?
You can, or you can create a separate category called generosity. Some people use the 10-10-80 rule instead of the 50-30-20 rule. They give 10%, save 10%, and live on 80%. But for beginners, just start with a small, comfortable amount.
What kind of giving are we talking about? Just giving money to a big charity?
It could be anything. It could be charity, supporting a cause you care about, like animal shelters or clean water; community, helping a friend who is going through a hard time; tips, being extra generous to a waiter who is working hard; time. Sometimes if you don't have money to give, you can give your time by volunteering.
I like the idea of helping my community. My local library needs new books. Maybe I could donate $10 every month to them.
That's a wonderful idea. When you see that $10 on your budget under generosity, it makes you feel proud. It's no longer just a boring list of bills, it becomes a tool for good.
It also makes me more careful with my wants. If I know that skipping one expensive coffee means I can buy a book for a child at the library, the choice is easy.
Precisely. It gives your money purpose. When money has a purpose beyond just buying stuff, you become much more disciplined. You're not just saving for a car, you're managing your life so you can be a person who helps others.
I think I'm going to add a giving line to my tracker tonight, even if it's just a small amount to start.
I think you'll find it's the most rewarding part of your whole budget, Mark. It's the cherry on top of a healthy financial life.
Thank you so much, Anna. This has been a long talk, but I feel like a different person. Let me see if I remember the main parts. 1. Income. Know my net income, the money I actually keep. 2. Expenses. Separate my fixed bills from my variable costs. 3. Budgeting. Use a map like the 50-30-20 rule. 4. Saving. Build an emergency fund for peace of mind. 5. Tracking. Find the money leaks by writing everything down. 6. Debt. Avoid high interest traps and treat credit cards like cash. 7. Giving. Share a little to keep a healthy and happy mindset.
Perfect. You're ready to take control. And remember, to all our viewers at Daily English Dialogues, the most important step is the first one. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to start.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm going home to open my banking app and start my detective work.
Good luck, Mark. Goodbye, everyone, and we'll see you in the next episode for more English conversations.